Hi YouTubers, Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. Guys, thanks for joining me on my channel, following me. And Mike in the Night, Wednesday nights, and Trends in the Housing Market, Wednesday nights. All Pacific time, guys. What do I want to talk about today, guys? It's a beautiful Monday here in Merritt, British Columbia. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think it's like 15, 16 Celsius, which is really good for fall. I want to talk about incentives. Condo incentives. Steve Saretsky, Huffington Post, heck, everywhere starting to come up with this whole incentives. And if people remember from my first videos that I made, the patterns that I saw in South Florida in 2007, all these patterns are happening here. Now, condo incentives. Well, they're offering free cars to people now that buy a condo. Builders are getting so desperate that they're offering free cars. And this is something that people need to take into account, that markets aren't looking good at all. Markets are crashing all around. Every English-speaking country is feeling the pinch. And I don't even think it's the foreign buyer tax. I don't even think it's the all this vacant home tax and all that. I don't even think it's contributing, but the main factor is capital outflows of China have no runoffs. The yuan is in record low right now, record lows, and when the yuan goes further down, it's going to put China in a very tight position to buy petrol and fuel and natural gas to I don't know how to say it, to fuel its red dragon. I call it the red dragon on my show. You got to fuel the red dragon, and they're the biggest energy consumers in the world. And they're going to have to start purchasing with a devalued currency. But what does this have to do? Well, they can't have capital outflows or runoff on their currency or their banking system with people leaving with fortunes offshore, to leave offshore and to park their money in real estate. And that's what's been happening for the last Vancouver. It's been almost since the 2000 and I think it was 2010 Olympics. I think that's when Vancouver did it. Yeah, 2010 Olympics. That's when Vancouver started to see the spikes. A lot of people thought it was going to crash after the you got the mini spike just before the Olympics, and a lot of people thought that the market was going to crash after the Olympics. But a lot of people just jumped on. A lot of foreign money coming into the country, and now it's coming up with all the money laundering, all the hoopla that's going on. It's a cockamaniac is what it is. It's crazy. And nobody could really pinpoint a crash or a correction, only because of the underlying things that nobody could put their finger on the pulse. In a normal housing market, in a normal markets, interest rates are 4.5 to 5%. But unfortunately, with the record historical low interest rates and the record historical poor lending standards, garbage lending standards from these lenders, disgusting how they're lending out money to people that can't afford to pay it back. A lot of good underwriters and a lot of good branch managers could look at a deal and say, this guy's going to fall apart in 6 months. Where's he buying food? How is he buying food? But no one's looking at, they're all looking at commissions. They're looking at lining their pockets. And that's why when I worked in the finance industry, I was a regional manager. I got out because I just couldn't sleep at night knowing that I'm screwing someone's life over. I couldn't do it. It didn't last long. Anyways, guys, incentives. Free cars, free that. We'll pay your mortgage off for a year. We'll pay your mortgage off for a year incentive. That is huge. That is phenomenal. And those are the same patterns I saw down in South Florida. They were offering minivans to families if they bought a condo. They were offering, what was it? If you were single, I think they were offering a Pontiac Solstice. I think it was the Solstice. If you were a single man and you wanted to buy your first place, your first pad. And in South Florida, they were offering all that. It was nuts. Same patterns here. Same patterns. And the condos are going to start taking a massive hit because after the inventory got very expensive for detached housing market, and the majority of people were out of reach. A lot of people jumped onto the condo and townhouse market because that was more affordable. Once they jumped into the townhome and condo market, those started to get so high that it almost wasn't in line with detached housing. That's how high it went up, because everybody wanted the cheaper inventory to get on because of FOMO, fear of missing out. So this is happening in Australia for the last 5 to 6 years. It's been happening in Canada starting 10 years, but Toronto 2 years ago. 3 years now in Toronto. And cities like Seattle, Portland, Oregon. California's been happening for 15 years now. And that's why a lot of people are having there's a huge mass exodus in California. Now, with 6 million people that left in the last, 7, 8 years in California, the problem is it's affecting states like Nevada, Utah, it's affecting Arizona, it's affecting a lot of other states with this mass influx of intermigration. Same thing happened with Sydney. A lot of Sydneyans moved to Hobart, Tasmania. And the average house in Hobart was like 120, 150 grand. Now it's 250. Why? Because the manipulation in the markets. Here, where I live in Merritt, a lot of people here are from the coast. They live in Vancouver, Burnaby, or Surrey, or Chilliwack, up as far as Hope, because the housing just started to get out of reach, and people thought that if they come up to here and buy in, they could be safe. For me, I bought my house here. It's a massive house. I bought this house because, one, I don't want to upgrade homes. I don't want to buy a starter home then upgrade later. Two, I don't care if it goes to $0, because this house is a place for me to raise my family and raise my children and lay roots. This house is not for me to make money off, because if I wanted to make money off real estate, I wouldn't have never bought this house. So a lot of people are messaging saying, Mike, you own a house. Why the hell are you going against? No. I own a house because I want to live in a house. Because I want to raise my family. Because I want to take care of my family. I paid $260 for this house. Yeah, and that piece there is my house too. That connects. It's all one house. Watch my Living the Dream series in my channel, and you guys will see what I'm talking about. Free incentives. It's nuts. It's absolutely ludicrous what's happening, and I'm very happy I left the big city. I am extremely grateful that, I count my blessings every day, And I want to thank everyone for following me on this channel. Don't forget to join me for Trends in the Housing Market. There's a lot of crap happening in Australia right now. Phenomenal amount of problems in Australia. A lot of people not going to auctions anymore. Houses not selling. Same thing in New Zealand. Right now in Auckland, they're having a really tough time moving anything right now. And the foreign buyers tax went into law today. But I think it's a little bit too little too late for that right now. So we'll see what happens with that. What else is going on? UK, still in a slump. London, in a slump. Irish protesting on the streets in Dublin. Tired, sick and tired of this mumbo jumbo of having to sleep on a couch for $1,000, €1,000 a month to sleep on someone's couch. People are getting tired of this. What else? Toronto, huge, massive declines in Toronto. Toronto's one of the bigger cities that's giving away free vehicles and 1 year paid mortgage if you buy a condo. Vancouver on just declining, steady decline. Where else? Who else can we pick on? Seattle, they're down 96,000 now in the last 5 months. On a benchmark average, down $96,000. Portland, Oregon, same thing. They're just steady. They're tipping right now still at 401,000. And California is all over the place with different pockets in different major cities. But all I know is the mass exodus isn't helping. And I think the I think just around 100,000 empty, privately owned investment properties are boarded up with no one living in them. I think that's going to contribute to California's housing disaster. It's happening everywhere, guys. It's happening everywhere. Let me know what you guys think about this whole incentives thing. Look it up. Incentives to buy a condo. You'll see all kinds of stuff. Heck, you'll even find some stuff from 2005, 2006, when they started to see the market starting to tip in the United States. Anyways, guys, Mike Martins. Don't forget to join me Wednesday night trends in the housing market. Go to my channel. You'll see a little thing there with trends. You could click to remind you to be part of the show. If you want to add me on Skype, go ahead. It's Mike Martins 1980. Add me on Skype if you want to be on the show. I would love to hear from you. I would love to kind of hear what's happening in your area, whether prices are going up or down. I want to know what's happening. If prices are going up where you are, tell us. We want to know, because everything's going down, and it was very hard to predict this crash because we're not in a normal housing market. Too many underlying factors that we can't gauge. Let me know. Comment below. Thanks for watching.